The Pi network with the Pi token has seen a terrible week. We finished the migration, the KYC process is over. A lot of people did not get their tokens. The Pi token went down more than the rest of all of the top cryptocurrencies. The big question is, does it make sense to buy this bottom now? Let's have a look at some data most people aren't considering. Let's dive deep into the details. Now have a look at this. Here are the top 100 cryptocurrencies ordered by the performance in the last 7 days. And Pi is the worst performer among them all. Everything else in the top 100, and that's measured in market cap, performed better than Pi in the last week. That's then how this looks like on the bubble map, right? Pi is clearly red, and it seems to be partially related to the news here. The pioneers, right, the investors in the Pi network, they got discouraged after Binance said that it will not list the Pi token. So here are the headlines. Why Binance refused to list Pi network. The real reason. There was a vote to list campaign, but apparently any token that's not listed on the Binance Smart Chain is not even up for vote. And so Pi network got automatically disqualified. There's also the big question, what happens with the unclaimed tokens? So a lot of people that mined Pi via their mobile phone, right, that click the button every single day, they were actually not able to then migrate those tokens over to the mainnet because of a missing KYC step, know your customer step. So they submitted documents, but in the end they never got the green light for the migration. And then the question is, what happens with all of those tokens? Do they get burned? Do they get kept by the community? Will the team use this to pay developers? We don't know. We still don't know. Pi tries to not talk about those topics. Instead, the blog focuses on the Pi domains. Apparently, there was an auction of specific domains with a lot of participation. So we've got 200,000 bids, 40,000 unique bidders. And since one Pi is worth roughly $1 right now, the highest bid for one domain was $30,000. Now, I'm not sure how useful those domains actually are, because Chrome and Firefox, etc. do not support those domains. You need to use the Pi browser, alternatively an extension to Chrome, in order to access the .pi domain. So those are not official domains. And so isn't it fascinating that there's so much attention on Pi? The recent videos on this channel discussing Pi got a lot of new people watching the channel. There's so much attention, yet the price is performing that poorly. Because usually attention tends to also equal more money flowing into an asset, right? The more people have the eyes on an asset, the more likely that asset is going to be bought. And here's one of my recent videos on Pi. It outperformed the average video by 85%. It got 267 subscribers. That's quite a lot for a single video. Then here's another one. It also slightly outperformed and got more than 100 subscribers. Pi simply got a lot of adoption with the referral program and with the promise for free cryptocurrency. There are clearly a lot of people that downloaded the app to mine Pi. The YouTube channel has 1.8 million subscribers. How organic are those subscribers? Potentially quite organic, because have a look at the views. If those aren't faked either, then this does make sense. But here's the big problem, right? There was the announcement on March 10th that March 14th is the last day to migrate Pi over to the mainnet. The KYC process had to be finished until that day. And many people got disappointed. Have a look at this, the Pi mainnet checklist. This comes from the Pi network YouTube channel directly. Just check out the comments over here. Please open mass KYC. I don't always pick new users in random KYC. Please consider all the old users that are patiently waiting for KYC slot, that have been mining for many years. I'm an older user that hasn't gotten KYC invitation. I've been waiting patiently for almost a year plus for this KYC stuff. Last 3 weeks ago, I completed 7 steps. Now I'm waiting for migrate to mainnet. And apparently most people got stuck at step number 9 of the KYC process. Just imagine how long this process has to be when there's 9 steps. The Twitter account has 4.3 million followers. And no matter what social metrics we look at, there is a lot of engagement. Have a look at CoinMarketCap. there are bullish bearish votes and Pi has the most votes. Now the question is, how much is this manipulated? Because we do see votes of 99.5% and 0.5%. There seems to be quite a bit of distortion as well. This doesn't seem to be organic, but still it looks like the engagement around Pi is high. Unfortunately, this does not reflect in the price performance. This is Pi relative to Bitcoin, and from its top pre-migration on the 27th of February to today, Pi underperformed by 66%. It looks like we are making lower highs along the way. And there are two reasons for this. The first reason is that the people that were able to migrate to the mainnet, they might now sell part of the Pi, right? They may take some profit. The second reason is that the people that did not migrate, that simply just got caught up in the hype, that now bought Pi tokens, they might now sell this again after hearing all of the negativity around the process, right? It seems like this whole migration was not a very fair, balanced process. And so the only way for the Pi token to go further up from here is probably if the market makers decide to increase volatility. But that's likely only going to happen once intention is very low. And still, attention on Pi tends to be rather high. Market manipulation usually happens when nobody is looking. And right now, all the trading volume happens on the centralized exchanges. You've got Gate.io, BitGet, OKX and MEXC. And there's also bets on the price via perpetual futures. And that's headed by MEXC and OKX. So at some point, we could clearly see some volatility. All the instruments are in place, but we probably have to see trading volume trailing down even further. And then in the end, nobody talking about Pi. And then when the market makers want to actually sell off more of their Pi, they might shoot up the price for a little bit just to generate more attention to then sell again their bags to retail. Clearly, the overall situation in crypto has changed recently, and there seems to be one event that started it all off. What we've got over here is the Bitcoin price, and this red circle marks when Donald Trump launched his meme coin. So that's this over here. Most people got burnt with that meme coin. If you bought this in the first few hours after launch, you made money. If you didn't, you lost money. Since the launch, Bitcoin lost 21% of its value. Of course, the Trump token lost much more. A lot of other altcoins also lost more. And so the majority of people lose, of course, when the market looks like this. There's pretty much nobody that has their entire crypto portfolio in Maker or in Bearer or in Bitcoin Cash. Even if you hold those tokens, you probably have a diversified portfolio and you're down with all of those other tokens. Now here's something that's not so obvious. We see Bitcoin over here. Bitcoin went up by 14% in the last year. And this is now the top 100 ordered by their performance in the last year. And there are a few altcoins that did better than Bitcoin. Two of them being gold derivatives, so PAXG and Tether Gold. But there's also others that performed slightly better. But the vast majority of altcoins actually performed much, much worse. If you picked a random altcoin in the top 100 1 year ago, you've got roughly an 80% chance that you underperformed simply Bitcoin. And that's of course a problem, right? Because altcoins have more risk, and so in theory, they should also perform better, especially during times when Bitcoin tends to go up. And so I don't try to find the needle in the haystack. I don't try to pick the bearer coin in order to then make money. I do the exact opposite. I bet on the vast majority of altcoins doing worse than Bitcoin. And most of the time, that strategy makes money. Have a look at this, for example. This is Matic relative to Bitcoin, a very constant underperformance. Or this is Balancer relative to Bitcoin. Again, a very constant underperformance. And we can make money from that relative valuation. We don't have to bet on Balancer or on Matic going down versus the US dollar. We can bet on it doing worse than Bitcoin and make money when this thing continues to go down. Or we can also mirror that chart, right? We can just bet on this continue to go up. This is now Bitcoin relative to Matic. That's the logarithmic chart. This is the linear chart. So why does this happen? The reason is tokenomics, right? It's the altcoins that print more and more tokens, and that token allocation goes to the insiders, it goes to the developers. And for meme coins, we don't necessarily have an expanding supply, but for meme coins, we tend to have a lot of ownership by the insiders as well, that simply sell off over time. And that's why Bitcoin performs so well versus all of those altcoins. And that's why I believe those are the kinds of charts we want to bet on. Yes, we can of course try to time Bitcoin itself, and we can try to buy this at 16K and then sell it at 100K. And this is a possible way to make money. I'm also trying to time Bitcoin. But why would we try to pick the few altcoins that perform still okay? Why not just flip this thing around and make money when those bubbles are red? So for example, over here on the 6th of December, I have made a premium update video how I have sold some of my Bitcoin because a liquidity crunch was incoming. So that was over here. I've made another announcement on the 25th of February how I've sold all of my speculative Bitcoin and how I'm selling all of my altcoin positions. And that was over here. I opened a position betting on falling prices of Chainlink on the 23rd of January. I opened a short position on Dogecoin and on PancakeSwap on the 14th of February. And the reason why I'm sharing this is because I've now closed the Chainlink position, so it lost 42% in the span of a few weeks. I've also closed the Cake short, which went down versus BNB by 27%. And I've also closed the Dogecoin short, also in profit. So really, when you know what you're doing, if you know how to do the proper risk management, that you don't get liquidated, and when you have the odds in your favor during times like this, when most altcoins underperform Bitcoin, then it is rather straightforward to make money like this. We don't have to find the needle in the haystack. We don't have to make 100x returns with a random meme coin. We can simply just let our capital compound by making 20% here and 40% over here. Most people are scared of betting on falling prices, but that's why I've made dedicated tutorial videos on the topic, how to do the proper risk management, how to set up those positions also in DeFi and Web3, not just with centralized exchanges, how to do this cost efficiently, and also how to select the right assets to short. There's more than 100 tutorial videos in total in premium. The link is down below. It's thebitcoinstrategy.com. Of course, I'm also sharing in detail how I currently see the market. There's a premium update video every 3 to 4 days. And I challenge you to look at other influencers, what they said during those times, right? Have a look at the date, have a look at the title of those different premium update videos, and let me know who said already on February 18th that it might make sense to bet on falling prices, or that crypto stopped expanding in the last 2 to 3 weeks, or how your influencer is selling aggressively. I don't really see many other influencers saying it like it is. Most YouTube channels just sell hopium. Most YouTube channels just want to push up their own bags, but they're not really looking realistically at the prices. They're not really looking at how much are people actually already in profit and when will that profit be taken. So if you appreciate during times like this that I keep it real, then of course feel free to give this video a like. Feel free to also subscribe. I publish videos regularly. And of course, feel free to also check out premium. The link is down below. Looking very much forward to seeing you there as well. Cheers.